Hello and welcome to Kits Photography for this time. In this show I'll be talking about memory cards, specifically these cards. So which of these two cards is best? XQD or CFExpress? You have to stay tuned to find out. Hello and welcome to Kits Photography. I'm Kit from Bremac Photography here in sunny South Australia. Welcome to my channel. Hello and welcome to the show. So for my amazing D850, which card is best? So very recently the D850 and Nikon cameras, the high-end Nikon cameras, had an update which allows them to use CFExpress memory cards. This is possibly a game changer, but it may not be at the same time. So your standard XQD card does 400 up and 400 down megabytes. So that's really good, but it's also a flat standard all the time. Now, these cards, the CFExpress, this one here is a cheaper version and it does 1700 megabytes per second. At least that's what it says, but does it really? So looking at the fine print, it actually says that you can download the information, you can read it, at about 1700 megabytes per second. That's really, really good. But then it also says that the maximum upload is about 1200 megabytes per second. However, it also says that the minimum may vary and goes down to about 140. Now that's a lot slower than one of these. This one here, the slowest speed's 400. But how does that actually test out? Now I've put them in the camera, both of them. I've been using the XQD for years, and this one here I've had today. And let's just see how it goes, especially on multiple photographs a second. How long can we sustain that trigger button and get a continuous set of photographs? We'll have to wait and see. Now the reason I'm using these two cards is actually because they're roughly the same price. This one here is about 250, the XQD with 32 gigabytes. This one here is around 200, 210, something like that, and it's 128 gigabytes. But it's a CFExpress. So it's faster and it's bigger, but it's a cheaper version of the saving data. Now the funny thing is that the XQD card is actually much heavier. It feels stronger. Now, this one here is made by ProGrade. It's ProGrade Gold. It's not the best one you can get with ProGrade. Some of them do have a standard, which is a standard up and down, and a minimum, which is massive. But you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And even if you're a pro photographer like me, you can't afford to be spending that sort of money on a memory card if you know it's not going to fail. Now, I've never had a memory card fail except for once, just once. Didn't happen in my still photography. As you can see behind me here, I've got my film cameras. And when it comes to it, I had a film camera memory card fail the other day, actually in the camera that I'm filming in right now, which is a Sony. I've never had trouble with it at all. Luckily, all I lost was 30 seconds. I'd stopped the filming and started up again after a full day's shoot. And my memory card said, something's failed, don't use your memory card. So I pulled it out and kept using the other one. That was fine, and I managed to erase it, and then it was all good. But luckily I only lost maybe 2 minutes of footage. But it's pretty scary when that happens. And so you want a reliable card. That's why the XQD cards are great, because they are so reliable. And I'd say they're nearly as reliable as the old CF cards. I mean, I used CF cards in my D800 for years. And I mean, you could junk them around so much and nothing would ever go wrong with them. But let's actually take these out in the field and give them a test. Now the other thing as well, you might recognize the background of my studio here. It's a kitchen. You might have seen it in Miss Gilbert's Lockdown Learning. Now I'm the producer for that, and that's why I'm in the studio here right now.
Okay, for a interceptions. I'm now going to create the same chemical reaction in my clay volcano here. So I'm going to add scoops of the bicarb soda into my volcano. I'm going to add an extra scoop today because it's a really deep volcano and I want to see it exploding out the top. Oh, I might even do another half. Okay, and now we need to mix up our vinegar. So I'm going to measure up to 1 cup to get that ready with the dye. Well, do you know what? Let's fill it up to 2 cups in case we need extra. I've got the red food colouring. Add some drops. Swirl it round. And are you ready to see an explosion? Here we go. I'm going to pour it in. Whoa!
So what I'm going to do now, I've wiped the memory card, and so I'm going to take some photographs of just an inanimate object, bright light, and we'll do the 9 frames per second. So here we go. So you can see there that that took the 70 to 74. That's minus 4 frames when it slowed down, about 70 frames before it ran out. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the XQD card. So here we go. And look at that, 71. So we actually did better with the CFExpress. Now I did some experiments this morning and I actually got 93 with the CFExpress, but the XQD is always around the 70 mark. So which one's better? The XQD or the CFExpress? It's a really good question. There really are much of a muchness, except for the fact the CF cards are a huge amount cheaper. And I think that's really where this all comes in. What do you want to do? Do you want to save on costs like that? And basically, I think that's probably what most people want to do. They want to save a bit of cash. I mean, look, I love my XQD card. It's really, really good. It's been a complete workhorse, but it's only 32 gigabytes. I can take 700 full images on this, on JPEG that is, not even on RAW. This one here, I can take 3,000 photographs. 700, 3,000. Now I'm out doing a wedding, what am I going to do? 700 or 3,000? That's the thing. I may not necessarily need that much, but when it comes to it, I'd much prefer to know that I've got it and not need it than not have it and need it. So that just leaves us with, I would say for the moment, I'm happy to keep trying my CFExpress and see how I go. Now I know this test is not absolutely comprehensive. I could have done it with lower quality images and high quality images and all those sorts of things. But all I'm trying to do with this really is look at the buffer of the D850 and how many images it can process before the upload speed onto the card is used up. and it seems to be roughly 70 images. That's what I'm finding. 70 images, so roughly 70 on here and maybe 68 or 67, something like that, on this one here. But really, it really is a much of a muchness. And I think if you're going to save the cash, this one here is 4 times bigger for the same amount of money, and it's roughly the same speed. And unless you're continually shooting, and keeping in mind those continuous shootings that I was doing then went for 6, 7, 8 seconds. That's a lot of time to be holding that down. It's very unlikely that you're going to be doing that as a professional photographer. I mean, really, if you're doing that, you're not doing your job right. There might be occasionally an instance, maybe like a press conference, but usually you're doing short bursts. You might take maybe 4, 5, 10, 12 images at a time, but usually no more than that because you don't need to. You know you've captured what you need there. And, you know, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I can understand maybe if you're shooting like a nature thing, you don't really know what's happening and you're waiting for something amazing to happen, but at the same time there are other ways around that too. So my overall opinion here is I'd go at the moment with the CFExpress just to give it a go, to give it a try. But who knows? This has got massive reliability. This is a cheaper brand. I mean, 128GB made by Sony was ridiculously priced. And that's one of the things that concerns me, is that, am I getting what I'm paying for? With this, I got a bargain cheap on sale one quite some time ago, the XQD, but with the CFExpress, I don't really know yet. They're pretty new. And the other thing as well is that I would have thought that this would have worked, this CFExpress would have worked in the XQD reader on my computer, but it doesn't. I'm going to have to get a new reader because they're different. They're not coded to do it properly, so that's another expense as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video this time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to try and keep going as much as I can. I'm doing my PhD at the moment and I'm also doing lots of photography work, and so when it comes to it, I'm so busy. And that's why I've slowed down a little bit. But when it comes to it, I'm happy to get a video going up there. Always, write a message in the comments. And if you have an idea for a video, send it to me and I'll see what I can do, because I'm happy to try out new things, especially here in South Australia where there's so much amazing things to look at and photograph and all that sort of thing. So stay tuned, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.